What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music again. Thanks for hanging out for another lesson. This one could be a series. Let me know if you want to see more of these, but I'm going to break down one of the things I wish I knew the first year of playing guitar, but learned much later. And we're going to get to it right now. All right, so something I wish I would have known sooner on the guitar is that the basic E major chord and the A major chord, and the D major chord, and the G major chord, and the C major chord, that all those basic open chords, when you mute one string, you can play them as rock power chords for rock and distortion. And I didn't get that. It's really like what AC/DC does a lot. A great example is this E major chord. So I've got the first fret on that G string there. If I mute that, in other words, don't press down, and play the whole chord, now I have a power chord. What I'm doing is I'm muting what's called the third of the chord. And you're left with two notes that are repeating throughout, the root and the five. So that also means that power chords are also known as five chords. So we could call this E5. That's being muted. E power chord's the more slang term for it, E5. So AC/DC would do that in Back in Black. And for that matter, let's go through those three chords, because with the D chord, you would mute the high E. And with the A chord, I like to do just the one finger. And I'm just pressing it enough to where that B string's muted, but I've got the open A, second fret of the D, and second fret of the G. Now, if I didn't mute the third of those chords, you hear that third in there, and with distortion, you get a better rock sound when you mute that third. So let's go to the C chord now, which might be the trickiest open power chord. You mute the second fret of the E with your middle finger. And you also don't want the open high E in there, so your index finger can kind of naturally mute that. The other thing is I'm letting my ring finger slightly mute that open E as well, so I can strum the whole guitar, but I'm only hearing this note, the open G, and the first fret on the B. The final one, which is probably tied with the E power chord for the best one, is the G power chord. And you hear this in Shook Me All Night Long, plus many, many other songs. But you take a G chord, and what you're doing is you're playing that middle finger on the third of the low E, and you're muting the A string with it. Not pressing down, I'm just letting it touch it enough to mute it. And then ring fingers on the third of the B, pinkies on the third of the high E, and now I have a G power chord. So just to recap, you've got an E chord, you mute the G string, and it becomes an E power chord or an E5. You mute the high E on the D chord, you get a D power chord. You make sure the B string's muted on the A, and you get an A power chord. You make sure that the second fret D is muted for the C chord. And then with the G, you make sure that that A string is being muted out. huge part of playing guitar, and it sounds great on acoustic too, actually. Those power chords sound great on acoustic. And I just never knew that. So when I would, a long time ago, before the internet, when I would play Back in Black, I wouldn't mute those notes. And, you know, it works, but it's not what they're doing. And also in blues, the E power chord, so you're muting that, goes really well with the E blues licks. So definitely a crucial technique to work on, and I wish I knew it sooner. No one showed it to me, and there wasn't the internet. So it's one of the first things I would teach a beginner student, and I'm going to go into that mode right now. So you might know this already, but if you don't, this is a great thing to get someone excited about electric guitar and acoustic, but even more like rock guitar. This little move right here. We can play an E power chord with one finger, and we got the open E, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret D, and those are the only notes we're playing. Then the A power chord, which is the exact same thing scooted down a string. So now we're playing the open A, 2nd fret D, 2nd fret G. So great thing is to just work on the one finger E power chord and A power chord. And I'll show you a few reasons why. You got this. Gonna continue. 3rd fret on the low E mixed with the E power chord. That with the A power chord mixed in. Right? Now with the A power chord, you've got the tug down on the open A, 3rd fret, just like we did with E, scooted down. But you also have the E with this A power chord. Watch this, G power chord, D power chord, so that's muted. And then that also, those two power chords would be the start of learning a blues as well. right, thanks again, you guys, for the support and watching the video. Hope it helped. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos based on this topic. Also, I appreciate you going to my own website, martymusic.com. You can sign the newsletter and get some free courses over there, and I really appreciate that. That's it. We'll see you later.
They keep making it. don't make